Hi, students. So today we're going to be working from Burlington English. Okay, so please log in. Okay, we're going to go to courses. So when you find the little globe with the headset and the mic, we're going to click here. And tonight we're going to be working on Burlington Core. So click on Burlington Core, the purple book. And you're all going to start with student lessons. Okay, we are on activity 4, Money Matters. And you'll be going through grammar comparatives. Student lessons. We'll go to student lessons later, but right now we're going to go to in-class lessons. And so we're going to start with grammar. So what I want to show you is where we left off on Thursday. So on Thursday, we went ahead and had our introduction. We are comparing adjectives. And so here you have a woman and a man. The woman says, this coat is nicer than the red coat. The man says, yes, but it's not as warm as the red coat. It's also more expensive. So here we have two great examples of what comparative adjectives do. On Thursday, we also completed activity number 2. We looked at some of these pictures. We compared, for example, the prices, okay, the quality, okay, the years, okay, the physical appearance, and then what is happening in those pictures. So for example, we said the brown shoes are cheaper than the black shoes. And here we have brown shoes and black shoes. Then 2, we said the green coat is more expensive than the black coat. And that was letter E. So we went through this activity. And what I want you to do is you can pause the video. You can go through this on your own. And I will be reading this for you. Here, the title says comparative adjectives. It says use a comparative form of adjectives to show how two people, places, or things are similar or different. For example, here we're going to use -er, for example, cheaper, plus the word than, and then here we have than, with short adjectives. So here we have the brown shoes are cheaper than the black shoes. Then we're going to use more or less than with longer adjectives. For example, the green coat is more expensive than the black coat, and the black coat is less expensive than the green coat. Then you have to also make a note because some adjectives happen to be irregular comparative forms. For example, good. Good is better. The word bad, worse. The word far, farther. Then we have, you can use a comparative adjective without than. For example, I'm buying the yellow apples because they are cheaper. And then lastly, remember the spelling rules, like the word big, bigger. We added an extra G, so it's B-I-G-G-E-R. Or we have nice. All we do is put an R, nicer, N-I-C-E-R. Then we have the word happy. We drop the Y and put I-E-R. So we have happier, spelled H-A-P-P-I-E-R. Again, you can review this more than once. And what we're going to do is we've gone through practice number 4. So tonight we're going to work through number 5. I want to show you what number 5 has. We have a total of 6 pictures. And in the 6 pictures, we already have a question. Our question for 1, we have a bicycle and a motorcycle. The question says, which are more dangerous, bicycles or motorcycles? So the person says, I think motorcycles are more dangerous. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our whiteboard tonight Here we have number 2, and the question says, which is a nicer place to live? A house or an apartment? So again, we're just practicing how to compare. So we are going to say a house is a nicer place to live. And here, I don't have to say then. We could, but we don't have to. So a house is a nicer place to live. Okay, we could, if you wanted to put then, okay, so let me go ahead and put this. A house is nicer than an apartment. Okay, and okay, again, we have 2 different ones. So if someone says, which is a nicer place to live? Some of you can respond and say house is a nicer place to live, or a house is nicer than an apartment. Let's look at picture number 3. Now it's saying which is easier, speaking English or reading English. So here, okay, just like what we did with number 2, okay, we have to use a comparative. Some of these we can use then, like what we did, a house is nicer than, or we can just say a house is a nicer place. So for this one, I'm going to say reading English is easier than writing. So again, look at this, the question, which is easier, speaking English or reading English? So here, reading English is easier than writing. You can practice, okay? And if you're gonna practice, you can go ahead and do the opposite. So this is for you to be able to practice. So instead of saying reading, maybe you wanna say writing. Writing is easier. Okay, if you want to, please practice and put your example, okay, below. So looking at number 4, which is more interesting, watching TV or reading a book? I'm going to go ahead and put my response, and my response is okay, and this is my example. Just like what I said with number 3, I want you to write the opposite. So if we look at number 4, which is more interesting, watching TV or reading a book? Here, my response is reading a book is more interesting than watching TV. And lastly, okay, number 5, we have 2 different flavors. Which is better, chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? And my response is going to be chocolate ice cream. So chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla ice cream. And just like I did with 3, I want you to do the opposite. So if you need to pause, please pause. If you don't need to pause, that's fine. Okay, but I'm going to continue with practice number 6. So in practice number 6, again, we're communicating. Here we have the word Alexandria Apartments, and it tells us the apartments. Then we have Fairfax Apartments. So which apartment would you rent? You only have 2 options. I want you to tell me which one is more expensive, which one is more cheap, which one is far, which one is close, which one is big, which one is small, which one is old, which one is new, and which one is high and far. So again, this is what you want to do. Look at how many bedrooms. Alexandria, it's 1. Fairfax, 3. So which one would be bigger? How do you write that sentence? Is Alexandria Apartments bigger, or is Fairfax bigger? Which one is newer? Okay, look at this information. Okay, which one is cheaper? Please make sure to practice this. And the last thing you're doing tonight is going to be putting this in the comparative. So if we say tall, it's short, so we add ER. Let's look at the rest of the words that are short. So remember, our rule said if our words are short, we put ER. If our words are long, we put more or less. So here, instead of, we don't say interesting, we say more interesting. Superlative, okay, it's the most interesting. So look, tall, taller, the tallest. I'm gonna go ahead and help you with 4 more. So the word big, it's small, so guess what? We're gonna put bigger. Okay, in the superlative, we put biggest. Here, okay, the word happy, okay, we're gonna put happier for comparative. And then superlative, we put happiest. For small, we put for comparative smaller. For the superlative, we put smallest. Okay, for the word expensive, okay, we put more expensive. Okay, and then for the superlative, the most expensive. So if you have questions, please let me know. If you don't, that is okay. But we're going to continue to do comparative and superlative. So I will be stopping my video. Okay, let me know if you have questions. Okay, if you don't, I will see you next week.